Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? So we just here. We're just testing out this live thing. Eventually I'm trying to do some readings on here. Trying to do that on here. I'm trying to do lives outside like I'm doing, for the chats. Trying to talk, answer questions, and yeah, just be that good old voice for you guys. Be that person who can help you. So we'll just do these things like if it was a group session. If we had a classroom or something, if you guys wanted to learn something, just let me know. I'm all for it. I'm willing. I'm super willing. Maybe we'll get a schedule going to where every day we'll come out here and we'll do something like this. But I love it out here right now. Do you guys see how beautiful this is? This is great. So if you guys got any questions about spirituality, you guys got any questions about psychology, fitness, health, nutrition, your boy has the knowledge. You want some information about helping your kids with some of your their homework or something. I got you. There is a limit, but the higher you go, the more specialized I get. So yeah. If you guys got any questions, let me know. If not, we'll be just enjoying we'll be enjoying this nature. Look at that bird. Hey bird. Hey bird. That bird left. But that one's staying. What's up, buddy? But yeah, it's a beautiful day. Uh I was out here already and I took the liberty to read up on a book. I read the book Yo Spark. So that's the genesis of all of this, man. Yo Spark, soul inspiration. I just broke that down. So that video will be dropping here in about 30 minutes or so, or whenever we get off of this. But yeah, it is awesome the fact that we can do things like this. Still have a little fear about it, but get out here, do it. It looks good. I mean, I feel good. As I keep looking at the screen, I'm like, wow, that looks great. I've been to this park before, and this park has never looked this beautiful in the background. So, hey, new perceptions on the block. But like I said, this is the first live. It's just a practice. I don't really expect too many people to be on here or whatnot. But in the future, as we do join in, we'll be doing live readings, and then we'll be doing live Q&As. And then most of the time, we'll just hang out because at the end of the day, I mean, my life and your life coincide some kind of way. And if you're a subscriber already, then that's even closer to me. So I appreciate you, and I want to give back. I, I'm the kind of guy who like to do shit. So I would do shit out of the fact that I want to. I just want to do it. So if you're gonna pay me to do something on top, hell yeah. But it's not gonna make me try harder or less, and that makes sound weird, but I like to give it my all, period. And so that helps me be a lot more holistic with myself. It allows me to see myself be that balls to the wall person in certain topic areas. And then it allows me to also see where I'm loafing and where I avoid things. And that's cool. That's cool because I don't like all things, and neither do you. But because I know I don't like everything, and because I know you don't like everything, that means we can probably exchange now. And that creates a third dynamic of me before I even get to you. I can help me, I cannot help me, then I can help me again. And that second way of helping means I can help me by getting help from another. So this is the cool thing about soul inspiration. I can do all of those things with myself. And the idea is we can use that to clearly see ourselves. This is called the clear model. That's something that I really enjoy using. And it's something that I've established to help us see changes in scales. One of the major things that I've learned about on the spiritual journey, it's simple. Change is inevitable. I think we all already know that. But what change occurs? Which change occurs? Why change occurs? How come change occurs? Why could change occur? These metacognitive questions are so important for us to understand in regards to change because it helps us understand and become more aware about the changes at hand. Randomization, in other words, but we can document randomness. We can study randomness. We can predict randomness. The only thing we can't do with something that is random is exact it. We can't exactly quantify it right now or right later. The only thing we can do with that is to receive its own quantification. The clear model helps us see all three parts. It helps us see what it wants to do on its own and what it wants to present itself as. And then it allows me to project upon it. And then it also allows me to project a new projection, just like a simulation. So knowing that those three steps can always be taken, the fourth step is nothing. I'm just going to do what I've been doing. Nothing changes. So these things show up in people as dissonances, disconnects, distortions. But all of these words, it refers to a specific type of math. In this math, dissonance, distortion is division. When you divide things up, there's two different ways to create divisions. And then there's four different ways to approach the division. And it's so crazy that a lot of people don't know that. But my experience as a teacher has shown me that most kids in fifth grade struggle with fractions because their teachers don't understand how to apply it scientifically, or they didn't have a good fourth grade teacher, which taught them how to scale up and apply the fractions. I did all of that shit. And every kid I tutored and every kid I taught understood why they were doing these fractions. I showed them eighth grade level fraction and how to convert them in a circle. And then that helped them at the lower levels because they understood if I can't see it from fraction form, I can just turn it into a decimal. Oh, I like decimal points. They're easy. I can line them up. Boom. Count my spaces and now I know. Some kids can't see the fraction. So I teach them to use the division to convert that fraction to a decimal. Some kids can't see decimals. So we can teach a kid to say, okay, let's convert that decimal into a fraction. But what if you can't see fractions? And what if you can't see decimals? If you can't see neither, then we can do something new. We can add what we call a percentage. Now I don't need to have an exact number. I don't need to have an exact number. Now I can have ranges or ratios called percentages. And it can be 25% of my circle, but that can be here, or it can be here, or it can be here, or it can be here. So all of these different areas that we're looking at talking about in regards to dividing things, the division creates an opportunity for us to see. When we can see inside that area now that we have divided, again, I can take a box, then I can divide it into four boxes. I can choose this area up here. And then we can look at that area, we can explore it, we can fractalize it, we can create more divisions. But does this area change this area, this one or that one? Most likely not. And that's the beautiful thing. I want us to see all the changes up here and then bring some of those changes down to here. And once we can bring those changes down to here, then we can say, okay, what didn't actually change? What just looks opposite? You got a two up here called positive two. You got a two down here called negative two. What actually changed outside of being in two spaces? Well, nothing really. And that's what we're starting to understand with the clear model. When you use fractions to say, I'm 50%, opposed and I'm 50% for, then you can start saying half of me is agreeing, half of me is disagreeing. We can start to perceive ourselves in a different way. Again, is it really half of you that feels that way? Probably not. So again, it's showing us how to open up and have more perceptions. This hair allows us to not dissociate from how we feel. We create a new space for things to be filled up. It's like creating a cup for yourself. So that's pretty much the clear model in a nutshell. I mean, it's something that I use in all my sessions. It's something that I use when I'm teaching. But the idea is to try to show you something by teaching you how to make space for new opportunity. So if you looked at the video where I read The book, Your Spark Soul Inspiration. You'll see in chapter 10, or it's chapter 10, in chapter change, okay, in chapter change, we have the saying, everybody is gangster until the tomato starts walking, right? The point of saying that is if you can keep in mind that anything could just spontaneously start walking, like if I'm chilling right now and if the camera just started walking away, me personally, I would be a little shocked, but I wouldn't be too shocked, because I expect something like that to magically take. Keeping that kind of magic in my brain. So if it just started randomly walking away, you guys might be like, "What the fuck is going on? What are you doing?" I'm just be over here like, I don't know. My homework got up and walked away. And my camera just left. So that's what I'm trying to say. That's what that whole chapter is about. If you can prepare yourself for the most outrageously crazy thing ever in this world, if you can do something like that, then guess what? Somebody calling you crazy would not be that crazy. Oh yeah, whatever. But check out this fucking dog that is talking to me. you know, I like outside of that, like that's nothing. That's nothing. Oh, you suck. I had a person telling me that because I like to coach people, right? I've been teaching people before coaching. I've been tutoring, counseling, consulting, and mentoring. All of those things, right? I've even been a therapist for some. All of those things come together, and now I'll just call it life coaching because again, we're not in a class or in a specific setting. The setting is life, and that's what we're getting coached up on, mentored upon, therapeutic sessions with. It allows us to take what we're doing in confined areas and spread it in any which way of life. A person online had the nerve to tell me that I'm a con artist. What? What part of me says con when I put everything out in the open? No, I'm completely transparent. I'm literally teaching people not to be cons to themselves. And this random Joe Schmo tried to tell me that I was a con artist because people who do life coaching are just con artists. That is the type of mentalities that I want us to avoid. But if you can't avoid crap like that, cool, you can leave space so all of their junk can just go into this garbage bag, and you know what, you can just throw that shit out because none of it don't really matter. And the cool thing about it is you're not keeping yourself away, you're not creating a blockages, you're actually opening yourself more than what people will want. And so when I listen to people like that who just talk crap because they can't actually articulate their thoughts in a way that is mature, yeah, they think that if they say their thought once, that's it. And they don't think that the challenge over one, two, or three different series is appropriate. They think you're just arguing. But every fucking paper that I have to write that's in APA format has multiple layers. So I don't understand why people don't have that ability, but I do understand. It's because they don't have to practice. So they come at me and they talk to me with like this middle school level understanding, not knowing that I've taught people at a higher level than middle school, right? So I can see their middle school mistakes. And I said, okay, what if this person not even a middle school person? What if they're high school? I've taught people in college. I've taught people not in school. I've taught people in their 80s. So for me, it's not a matter of who I'm teaching. It is what I'm teaching and how am I conveying it. And so for this person, again, we were just talking about how context matters. And this person was yelling at me for my post because they were out of context. But the context was, why would you have books in school that offend people? And why would you take out other books that offend people and not be consistent? If you're going to take this one out because people feel uncomfortable, and then you're going to leave this one in, even though people feel uncomfortable, why? What's the reason? And again, it's simple to me, but that's because I taught. So I know what's easy. I can see an easy skill to learn at the third grade level, and I can see how hard it is for that eighth grader who did not learn that skill in third grade. I can see their issues. I can see their difficulties. I can see the problems. Just like people can see me doing these videos as they ride their bike. That's all right, man. We out here in nature showing people you can be themselves. Just like I used to show them kids that you can do it too. I just had to understand that you missed this in third grade. So let's start off in second grade, then go up. And by the time you go to second grade and give them the foundation of why they needed to learn it in third, then they can actually start skip counting. Oh, I got the third grade concept down. I see it in fourth grade for a little bit. Boom, I understand it. Bring the fifth grade, it changed a little bit, but I got it. Boom, I'm jumping past sixth grade all the way up to seventh. And seventh is not that much different from the eighth. Maybe it's a different notation. Maybe I got to hold something else in my mind. But boom, finally, I went from not having an understanding of my third grade skill to now, boom, because my teacher was able to identify it and bring me up step by step. Now I'm in a place to what we call grade level. So a lot of people don't conceive that in the school called life. But that's why you have people like me, holistic coaches, spiritual coaches, consultants, therapists, mentors. You have us to help you when schools so-called failed you. School didn't fail you. You failed yourself in school. Did you try hard? And if you did, good. But that doesn't mean shit. Trying hard doesn't mean anything. Trying hard for yourself is what matters. Because you can try hard for other people all day and still not get it. So my objective when I was teaching was to get kids to understand how they can help themselves first. It's a requirement in my class. You got to put your name on your paper before you start talking to anybody and telling them they need to do anything. If you couldn't tell yourself first, you don't have the right to tell somebody else second. But what that does is that allows them for my number two rule, which was give yourself some time to grow. So when you help yourself and then you give yourself enough time and space to grow into that help that you're giving, you don't force yourself to learn a lesson immediately. I used to tell my kids, again, fourth grade, this all the time. I used to tell my fourth graders this because a lot of them missed a lot of things in second grade, man. Again, second grade is very close to fourth grade. Third grade is closer to fifth grade. We're skipping different concepts and focus on the overall year with the standards, even if the information is still the same. So a lot of second graders, that's when you're starting to learn two-digit addition, two-digit subtraction, three-digit addition, subtraction. They introduce you to sub multiplication, division, and we get into those basics. Third grade is straight up memorization, multiplication, division. That's what most kids are doing. Most kids are failing. A lot of people don't know the multiplication. And then you get into fourth grade and you got to start to manipulate that multiplication. And so now you got two-digit multiplication, three-digit multiplication, three by ones, two by twos. You get introduced to what we call long division now. And then on top of that, you got to say, hey, did you know that we can call this multiplication a decimal point? Did you know that this division sign can be switched into a fraction? So we start to change notation, but is it still multiplication? Is it still division? Are you now adding fractions and subtracting fractions? Yeah, it's just adding and subtraction, but it's a new perspective. Oh, can I multiply fractions now? Yeah, it's just a new perspective. So what I'm saying is that I can see the multi-layer perspectives. A lot of people can too, but it's harder in the real world. When you in life, it's hard because you're living your life. And so you want somebody like me to come up on here and just talk about the different things that they've gone through because hopefully it gives you a new insight. And if you don't have a new insight, cool. Make a hindsight. Reflect. And if nothing in the hindsight is triggering you, well, then give yourself some foresight. Maybe it could help me. But these are the options you have when you leave yourself space. And so, to give another example for the classroom, if I would tell my kids, if based upon the difficulty or my ability to teach it, I would say, hey, we got a hard topic this week. So do not know this by Wednesday. I want you to be comfortable with this by Friday. Okay. and then next week we'll take our test. So, are you guys going to be confused on Monday? They will say, some will say yes, some will say no. I would say expect to be confused. Expect to be confused on Tuesday. So, should you get mad or should you give yourself some time to grow? And they always say, give yourself some time to grow. All right, cool. So if you listen and you take notes on Monday, can you go home and practice your notes on Tuesday? Yeah. And then if we're on Wednesday, if you did your homework and if you practiced on Wednesday, do you think you might know a little bit more? And they'd be like, yeah. But is it Friday yet? They'd be like, no. So do you have to know it all? No. So this is what it looks like for me when I'm giving myself grace. Because I didn't want to put pressure on myself to make them kids know something that I knew was hard. But then 1 week, I knew it was hard. And I knew that they were going to need this for seventh grade because I taught seventh and eighth. Did my coworkers know that? No. Did they fight me on every single fucking step of the way when I'm trying to do extra shit and extend the lesson? Yes. Doesn't matter. I put in the work. I help the kids out, and a lot of those kids, which are now sixth graders, they understand and they have a way deeper knowledge base than the cohort, and they have better science grades because they have a deeper understanding. They have better English grades, not because they just like English better, but it's because I connected the words of the math class with the words outside of math class. I just put it together. It was holistic. So this is the concept that I'm bringing to you guys, man. You guys help yourself. And the clear model is how we do that. But if you don't want to go through the step-by-step process, another form of that is just soul inspiration. Doing the things that make yourself happy and being able to recognize what makes me happy versus what doesn't. Awareness is what we're bringing with the soul inspiration. If you can be aware of what your soul is inspired by, then you can continue to plant seeds of inspiration for your soul. Just like me coming outside and talking. I've been yapping for like 20 minutes. So the idea behind this is it's not a matter of just doing it or not. It's doing the things that make me want to keep doing. That is how you stay motivated. You stay motivated by keeping yourself inspired. And the only way to inspire yourself is to do more of what makes yourself happy. So I appreciate you guys listening to me chat on this live. Go ahead and join in next time. Again, we got nothing but time. So we got questions. We'll answer anything that you need. Business, health, life, romance, relationships, God, whatever. We got some kind of answers. Again, I had to do this with kids in the classroom from all different walks of life. I would like to do it with adults and grown people now from all walks of life. So, without further ado, I'll see you next time. Peace.